What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this It movie review. So if you're new to the channel, a like and a subscribe is super appreciated here. So I'm going to put some full disclosure here. I've never read the book. I've not seen the original miniseries. I went into this completely blind. The trailers to me looked stunning. I liked the look of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, the evil clown in this movie, and I thought it looked really good. So I went into it. I'm not really a big horror guy. I mean, I like it, but I'm like, jump scares really trigger my anxiety, and I really can't actually handle them one bit. Albeit, I do love them, especially the Insidious and Conjuring franchises. I love them to bits. And probably my favourite horror franchise might be Saw, if you could class it as a horror franchise. I guess you could, because it's completely gory as fuck. But it here is absolutely fantastic. And what is good about it, it doesn't rely on jump scares. So this is a remake or another adaptation of Stephen King's seminal work, It. And it had a TV miniseries version with Tim Curry playing Pennywise the Clown. Here it is played by Bill Skarsgård, and it was originally going to be played by Will Poulter, the English actor, who I think he's great. He was in Son of Rambo. He was also in a few other things as well, which are pretty good. He was fantastic in We're the Millers as well. So highly worth checking out. But Bill Skarsgård of the immense Skarsgård family, who have been featured in the MCU, True Blood, Vikings. It's ridiculous how talented that family is. And Bill is no exception, as he plays Pennywise the Clown, who's haunting Derry, the town in Maine. I think it's in the New England area, I believe. Let me know in the comments if I've got that geography completely wrong, because I believe I have actually been to Maine as well, so I should really know that. But it is a horrible clown haunting this poor little town, taking children, and, well, the opening scene is incredibly graphic. A lot more graphic than I was really expecting. Over here in the UK, it is actually a 15, which I'm not sure what that relates to in America, but you have to be 15 years old to go and see it. And just as I bought my ticket and went to go in, I was actually a bit late going in and missed most of the trailers because a huge group of kids weren't allowed in. They were all ID'd, and I have to say I felt sorry for the cinema manager that day, as he had to refund about 30 tickets. And I've been there, man. I've been there. I've worked at a cinema, and it does suck. But enough on my actual way of getting into the movie. It is as a whole, it is an instant modern classic, and this movie is stunning. It is cinematography, sorry, is amazing. The sound design, the design of Pennywise, I absolutely love. I don't know if you can see him behind me up there on the screen, but you can see the grotesque clown nature of it. And if I had a phobia of clowns, I would be scared shitless of that. Now, this movie is, I actually read up on the backstory and like the sort of lore of the Stephen King novels before I did this review, and this is actually the first half of the book. So this story here is actually the first part, and there is going to be a sequel made of this movie. So it's just really covering the first instance of this, and I think it's quite a good idea. Now, part of me was like, I want to learn more, but having it just as a condensed story here, I thought was pretty good, because otherwise we'd have them coming back when they're older or whatever, and then it would be kind of take away from the vibes that we got in the first part of this movie. Now, the look and feel of this movie is very much, on the surface, Stranger Things, and it'd be incredibly lazy of me to say, oh yeah, it's just like Stranger Things, it's just like that. But no, it's not. Well, it is. It's a bunch of kids riding their bikes at summer, going around, but it's more like Stand By Me. I think it's more that kind of kids going on an adventure, and it really does have that whole 80s vibe, which makes sense because it is set in the 80s. I mean, when the whole movie is set, I'm just a couple of months old in 1989. So it is a great setting of this movie, and I have to say the set design, the costumes, and you have some weird New Kids on the Block references. There was one bit where the poster is actually of the New Kids on the Block is a jump scare, and I'm like, what the fuck, what? But yeah, there's a kid who absolutely loves New Kids on the Block, whatever. But the whole look, the shots of this, the shots when we have Pennywise torturing these children are just next level amazing. And that the angles that they are in, the music in this, it does rely on music. And it's a very modern horror movie thing here, where it's not just jump scares, it is kind of teasing. It's quite a lot what was done in The Conjuring, where it would have a big crescendo of the music, and then you'd have nothing, and then you'd have the jump scare. So it's kind of playing on the rules of normal horror there. And I think that's a lot better. It's you're on your feet, or you're on the edge of your seat, or behind your hands, as I was most of the movie. And you never know when to actually expect these, which makes it a lot scarier. So we're getting those full kind of nostalgia, Stranger Things, obviously Stand By Me, as well as the rest of the 80s Spielberg movies as well. So it would make sense that it's a lot like Stand By Me, because it's actually written, but the kind of origin, the book is written, or whatever, the source material is created by Stephen King, and Stephen King is obviously a genius, so there is that. Now, Pennywise the Clown is absolutely amazing. I can't believe I've gone through my life and not watched or even read the book, because I've had friends who have recommended it to me quite a lot. And when I started reading The Dark Tower, we had it in there as well, Pennywise, briefly, so I thought that was pretty cool. I guess I'll go back and read the book now, I think, at some point. I'll probably get the audiobook on Audible or something, because I'm lazy. But Pennywise is a great character, fantastically played by Bill Skarsgård. I love the kind of way it moved. The movement is creepy, the voice, everything about it is just disturbing, albeit the actual character, I know it looks up there, looks terrifying, but in normal posters, the actual look of the character isn't that scary, just like the original version. Tim Curry, the original look of that character, isn't too scary. It's what it actually does. It manifests these horrible visions, and then he's kind of there in the background, and once they're scared, that's when he strikes, because it feeds on fear. So I have to say, the Pennywise the Clown, just a masterpiece, a joy to watch, and I looked forward to when the clown was actually on screen, because it was so interesting to watch. Now, one thing that got me here, I won't give you too many spoilers, but the fact that each child in this movie has their own encounter with Pennywise, or the fear that Pennywise creates. And I found it weird that they didn't actually mention it until like the latter third of the film, or towards the last kind of few quarters of the film. They didn't mention to each other that they each had an encounter, a very, very scary encounter. You would think that would be the first thing they'd mention, considering that children are actually going missing. And weirdly, we never see much concern from the adults here in this movie. I know we see something about a curfew, but I like the fact that the adults are also the sort of villain of this, because each one of their parents, even the bullies in the movie, who is incredibly like the bullies in Stand By Me, again, another reference there, but it's really cool. I really like that. So the adults are incredibly mysterious, and we rarely ever actually see any adults other than putting up posters or being the kind of getting in the way of each of the children in the movie. We never see all of their parents, but the parents are also a villain, and makes it kind of really accentuates the fact that the children are completely and utterly screwed against this killer clown. We also have the gratuitous kind of, obviously we have a woman or a girl join the group of these boys. Obviously one of them has to fall in love with her, and I felt that this whole love story was completely pointless. They built up this badass female character, and then that was that. And then we get the love story, and it just cheapens this a bit, but I can't help but think this will actually move on and be part of the next movie, which will, I guess, will have some unrequited love or something later on. The problem with this movie, it was great, don't get me wrong, it was fantastic, and the way it was filmed, the script, the pacing was perfect. However, I would have loved to learn more about Pennywise and why he is what he is, and he was actually from the Macroverse I read up on, and his kind of arch enemy is another eternal, creepy, Lovecraftian character called the Turtle. I believe it was a turtle, and the turtle's reference is in Georgie's room. You have the Lego turtle that Bill picks up. We also have them mention that there's a turtle underneath them. We also have turtles all over the wallpaper in Georgie's room as well. So lots of Easter eggs there, and I'm sure there are a hell of a lot of more Easter eggs in this movie as well if you've watched the original or read the book or read the Dark Tower series, which sort of pseudo-links, I believe, all of these. So let me know what you think in the comments on that. Now, as a whole, the movie is fantastic. It is immensely worth watching if you haven't read the book or haven't seen the original. And if you have, I guess you want to go and see how that turns out. But as someone who hadn't seen the source material or the original, it's definitely worth watching. And I'm excited to see where this sequel actually goes. So that is it for this video. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.